Hello, Sparrows. Hi, Sparrows. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Happy 2020 to you. It's the first episode of Matters of the Heart Monday for 2020. Right. I am Valerie Miller of TVM, the Valerie Miller Double Fold. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. So come on in, come on in. We're having a little bit of girl talk and guys too this evening. Girl talk, guys too. I always find myself in some of the juiciest conversations with friends, perfect strangers, everywhere I go. I can promise you, it's like I'm a magnet for it now, and I can't complain about it. I won't complain. So Happy New Year to everybody. 2020. It seems to be fabulous thus far. And I tell you what, I have all anticipation for it to be very miraculous this year. Leap year also. New decade. Nothing but fabulous, right? Applause. Applause. Hopefully you guys are all off for a fantastic start as well. And of course, when it comes to TVM, always coming from how I became fabulous and a lady all the time. Yeah, all the time. And there are times when we have to be a lady or be a gentleman in the midst of moments, especially when it comes to love. Love all the time. It's going to be always relationship situations and concerns, always falling back on LOVE, right? LOVE. And of course you saw the circular that I sent around today. What have you done for it? What will you do for it? And what does it look like for you right now? Love. LOVE. So, you know, I'm always intentional about not putting my glasses on because it's so distracting. However, I want to come on and shout you guys out. Roger Radcliffe, William, hi Terrell, Happy New Year. James Caldwell, and Nancy, hi. Everybody come on in, get cozy. Hopefully you can stay with me for a little while tonight. However, as always, that type of conversation that never gets boring. It's never boring to talk about love, especially when you have it or you're seeking it, you know? And everybody's looking for it. You're lying if you say you're not. You're Lying. You're lying, okay? Do not tell a lie, because we are looking for it at all times. We look for it in our relationships, and that's every relationship. We're looking for it with our employers, what we do for a living. We're looking for it everywhere we go, in all honesty. That's why it's never going to be a boring topic. So, any questions you have, any memories of things that you have done for love, if you're married, if you're divorced, if you're single out here, this Girl Talk, guys, too, is always for everybody. It's for everybody. I just don't leave anybody exempt for the simple fact I fit all those categories. I've been single, I've been married, and divorced as well. So I am back out here on these streets, and it's not kind, cool, or kosher. It's tougher now than it was back in the day. And I recall having a hard time then. But now, being over that particular age, my goodness. My goodness. It's different. However, I can say this. I have been kind of on hiatus for a while, on Isolation Island, you know, just me and God working things out, you know, repairing what needed to be repaired, looking closely at things that took place before, making sure not to make those same detours again. That's a absolutely not. That's an absolutely not. No. I don't care to repeat the same, I guess it's safe to say mistakes. However, I like to say detours. We take detours in life because we know in the back of our minds consciously, because this is the whole love thing tonight, love conscious. And how do you go about loving consciously? That's the main concern. Have you done the work that needs to be done within yourself? Are you curious? Are you concerned about your next step, your next chapter? That's what I'm talking about. Hi, Veronica. Hi. Hello, Leslie, Sheldon, Tracy, Erica. Come on in. I've been excited about this all day. And you know, when you have conversations with your girlfriends, things come up. And then you receive those phone calls, things come up. And it always point back to love and the things that you have done and the things that you're doing. Are you compromising yourself? Are you living in your full happiness? Make sure that you are. Also, make sure you're not compromising yourself to the point that you're so desperate. And the current word is thirsty, I think it is. Don't be thirsty. Quench your thirst by taking your time. Take your time. Always take your time. Never rush into anything, because when you rush, you tend to get something that you fail to have taken into consideration of a possibility. That is what I'm talking about. Hold on. So when I'm saying love conscious, do you know exactly what it is that will make your thoughts be like, okay? Your heart thumping be like, okay, I can do this. This feels good. Or is it that tug of war? When you have that tug of war, that's a sign saying, you know what, girl, or you know what, guy? No, this isn't for you. The thing is, sometimes we push forward anyway because it's cold outside, you know. I really want someone special in my life, and I'm tired. And for you that are married, like, you know what? He left here this morning and did not give me a kiss. How dare he? You know, and just not having conversations and talking about those hard things, because you can be married and married for so long, you get comfortable and complacent with your spouse. Kids come along and take focus off of your actual marriage. This I've seen and had some layer of experience with it. So we love our kids. We nurture those little babes. We, you know, make sure we sculpt them to grow up to be responsible little citizens. Yes, we do. However, we are not to forget about spouse. Spouse comes before the children. Hello. They do. There is order here. God, you, spouse, children, other family, then friends. You see how it goes all the way down? And there are times when we have the order completely out of place. And when we have order out of place, that's when it can be easy to lose touch with one another. I remember that being married myself, things can go haywire and it can go extremely quick. And then you're at that crossroads of, do I stay or do I go? Did I marry the right person even? You learn things about people. And if you haven't read, I have all my juice in here. So there's no reason to go into detail about it. If you haven't read it, shame. Order this from Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. But I tell you, it's very important to sustain relationships no matter your status. If you're married, keep love alive. Keep date night there. Flirt. Things that are necessities. Keep other people and things out of the bedroom. That's your oasis. You better make it a master plan in there. to keep solitude, closeness, love, all of the things it took for you to get there, you have to maintain those things. If you ever go sideways with it, London Bridge will fall. I'm just saying. Been there, done that, learned a lot, will not be doing that again. I promise you. When Boaz Solomon come around this time, the real one, the right one, the one that God has sent to me, I promise you, change has taken place in my heart. Change has taken place in my mind. And if you notice online today, I had this image of the brain and the heart. It has to align. Ebony Blue, girl, I called you. We have to talk. Christine Williams, welcome in. The brain and the heart has to align. And my own personal discovery is that that's what has to be married. My brain and my heart has to be married. They have to come to an agreement of what's accepted, what's not, recognizing what's a preference versus a standard. Because standards, that's where everything is. It's not that he has to be 6 feet anymore, because I used to have that back in the day. 6 feet, at least 200 pounds, all that craziness. And then you get all of that and realize, OMG, no thank you. I like to throw this one back in the pond, and did. Throw it back. Throw it back, because you realize the older you get, and however many times it takes to have your heart bruised or broken, disappointment, challenges, sadness, is constant. You want to get out of the rat race. You want to have that unity. You want to have someone special and loving in your life. And I had someone that's going to be coming on the show later this month or early next month. It's an artist out of Atlanta, and we had the best conversation. So what I'll say, the conversation we had, I could only hope that, I wish I had recorded it. It was that type of conversation, and I'm looking forward to him coming on, because he brought up questions from a male's perspective and concerns from a male's perspective that I had not heard that way before. So I'm over the top excited about the conversation we will be having when he come in this house. You notice I'm saying house now. We're beyond rooms. Beyond rooms. When you start talking relationships and what's love got to do with it, because love has everything to do with our lives. We better love our jobs. We better love ourselves enough to be healthy. We have to think clearly. We've got to think about whom we serve, love it. All of these things. And relationships as a whole. Whether if it's a partnership, whether if it's friends, girlfriends, guy friends, look at the full picture. Every relationship is affected by love, because we're all seeking it. And I put up a quote. What did I say? Love is the heart's identity of all things cherished. We take special care of things that we love. We make time for love. We go the extra mile for love. That real sincere love. And I know this person, I won't say his name yet because it's going to be a great show. I'm not going to drop that just yet. However, he said, Valerie, his round 2, because he's been married twice. He said his round 2, he had to realize who was the person that he sincerely wanted to grow old with. What's going to happen when he's sick? Who could he imagine? And when he said that, he said, Val, I want you to stop and think about it. And I said, you're right. You're right. I said, my parents will be married 54 years this year. And never saw mom and dad argue. Never, ever. And I'm 50 plus. And knowing that they always took it to the bedroom to have conversations and things like that. They never allowed us to see or witness any disagreements, because they always had conversations around it. And whenever that door opened, they didn't come out until it was resolved. So remembering those things, I want those types of things. I want to have someone that I don't have to be fighting with all the time, but someone who's open for conversation, someone that I know will be there when I'm sick, someone I want to grow old with and have stories to share, remember wins, all of those things. And you may notice, right here, this ring is my mom's wedding band, her first one. I've had it for years, and I wear it because it reminds me of what love is. It's the give, the take, the sacrifices, picking your battles, your conversations and fights, and knowing when to and when not. All of those things. Doesn't mean that any relationship is perfect, because there is no existence of a perfect relationship. However, it's our choice of how we go about engaging, loving, respecting, the whole nine. Hi, Angel. Hi, Averill. Welcome in. And that is why I thought it would be a great idea to bring this topic up tonight. I did have someone scheduled to come in. However, dates got crossed up. So you know what? I said, this is perfect, because this year my topic is going to be love everything. My business is based on love. It's based on biblical principles. And that's where my heart is. So looking at it for what it is, it's going to be a ton of love topics taking place, because that's my focus for 2020. Love every aspect of your life. Because when you love, you're giving off these, endorphins, whatever that pleasure is, that elation, that wonderful, that feeling. I love it. I know you love it too. I know you love it. You cannot tell me, Sheila Carswell, you're not going to tell me you are not so over the top when it comes to love. It's not a person ever in life, on this planet or beyond, that is not looking for love. If you are fortunate to have found it, thank God for favor. Nurture it, keep it golden. Keep it golden, because it's no fun when you're out and you're on these streets and you're seeking someone that you can just literally give your heart to. You can love them with all of your being. That's important. Hi, Carlton. It's very important. And when you can, put self aside and still respect who you are, but take the time to get to know someone, love them, respect them, because you have to build a relationship. You're building it. It's not going to come already formed. And if that's your mindset, it needs to be adjusted. It needs to be adjusted right now, because it's so important to have your mind and your heart in alignment. Take time to heal yourself. Take time to make sure that you know who you are and who you sincerely need to have in your life. Because sometimes when we choose for ourselves, we choose wrong. We choose wrong because we get used to familiar. And when we get used to familiar and we don't want our lives to change, this is how I've always been, this is how I'm going to be, then you're going to continue to have the same repetitive cycles in your life. You're going to keep seeing it's going to be a different guy or a different girl, but you're going to get the same results day in and day out. However, if you are praying and you are really working on yourself because you know that it's change that you need, you know that person that is meant to be in your life, you will recognize him when the time comes. You will recognize her when the time comes. However, if you're in a situationship and you're just dealing with someone, oh my gosh, let go. Don't waste your time. Well, there's that word again. I'm not going to say waste. Don't invest your time into anyone that you have no intention of building a future with. That, I will say, that's one of the reasons why I've taken myself off. And I was on Isolation Island for the past few years. And that's why it was so important to me. I had to re-identify myself of not repeating things from here. I learned so much from relationships, and that those fabulous 7, those guys that really left an impression on me. And of course, there was one that really left a sincere impression on me, my son's father. So it took a lot for me to rebuild from that. And sometimes it takes years if you choose it. But then there are some people who just kind of jump back on the horse and just get with somebody else. And then you wonder why one of these days you have that mental break, or you keep seeing the same things over and over and over. Stop, repair, and then you move forward with someone who's worthy of being with you. If you think back in time, I know for me, to go back to my teens or to go back to my 20s or 30s, the way I loved back then, I don't love that way now. I really don't. Okay, Roger, I'm going to read what you said here. Roger Radcliffe says, I found love again after 2 decades. I wasn't looking for her, but God sent her to me, and her prayers were answered. I'll be 66 and she's 64. Congratulations. That makes me smile because I love love. And sometimes you may see on my timeline, I'll just pop it out there. I love love. And I love it so much. I want everybody to experience it. I want you to have it. And just go hard for each other. Go hard for each other. You know, keep other people out of your ear. Make sure that you're committed because it's hard. It's hard, however, worth it. That's what I'm talking about. Man, 2 divorces. Is that what you were saying, Roger? Honey, you can't just be putting letters out there because, you know, I'm just saying. But I'm still over the top excited for you. I promise you, I'm so excited for you. And I do. That's why I wear my mom's ring all the time. I wear mom's wedding band because it reminds me. Because I had a failed marriage before, you better believe the second time is the last time for me because I know what I want. I know how to go about getting it. And there's so much patience that I have to exude in it. However, when you know, you know. And when he knows it. You can run, you can hide, you can do whatever. But what I'll say to that is, when you know, no games. Don't play. Because tomorrow isn't promised. And, you know, that's the heartbreak. When you can wait for so long and then you finally meet someone and then you have them for a short period of time. I read a story someplace where, you know, this couple finally got together after so many years of back and forth. And then when they finally got together, got married, then he died. Jesus. You know, and that I cried for about an hour. Because I felt that article. I wish I had kept it, but it was just too painful. Love is a quest. It is a choice. It's a choice. Because it's not going to be something that's just going to fall out of the sky and then there it is presented to you. Because you have to go through some experiences in life in order to understand and know exactly where you're going to align. Yeah. So Veronica Morris, you're saying a learning experience from the first time. Yeah, I learned so much when I wrote about Fairy Tale to Hell, and it was just that. Ladies and gentlemen, just be careful when someone asks you, well, what is it that you're looking for, Valerie? Exactly, what do you want in a man? What are you looking for? And back in the day, I used to have that list like everybody else. Everybody else. But at the same time, I knew I had to dismiss that list. It wasn't about the list. It's about alignment. It's making sure I take the time to get to know this man for who he is and not to judge. Not that I've ever been one to judge, because like I said before, I used to have this thing. You had to be 6 feet minimum, at least 210 pounds, you know, that athletic physique. That's all Val, you know, but at the same time, my heart is, I almost said something. My heart goes toward someone who doesn't have that physique. and had to realize that, oh my gosh, it's not about that. And it took many years to realize it. That's the thing. Take time to understand yourself in order to know who you are sincerely looking for. Because when you ask for certain things, or you look at a preference standpoint versus a standards standpoint, my standards are ranking precedence. It's about how kind you are, how loving and respectful you are. You have communication skills. You're thoughtful. You return calls. You reach out every day. It's just the little things. The little things that cost you absolutely nothing. You don't have to be rolling around in a Bentley. You don't have to have the most fabulous car or live in the most lavish home. In all honesty, I've had all that. Was not impressed. I'm not impressed because I know who I am, and those things I've had myself. I attained for myself. So to have a man present that, I'm not impressed. You know? So when you start looking from a standard standpoint versus a preference standpoint, then you got something. You have something that can be built if you're both on the same page. Don't push and move into things too quickly. You can move a little bit too fast in relationships, especially if you're at a particular age. Late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. The game is different now than it was back then. It's completely different. My thing is, I have concern when we older individuals have the mindset of the 20-somethings, the early 30-somethings. It's not a good look. And it's really not the way to go. Stay in alignment with yourself. Cherish your beliefs, your morals. Vow to yourself to make sure that you are led to the right person. That person that's going to build you up. That person that you know you can build up. That's what's important. Love hard. Give it all you have, because tomorrow is not promised. We all have a different expiration. We just don't know when it is. And it's a lot of, gone too soon. There's no such thing as gone too soon. I'm never going to believe that. We all have an expiration date. And when it times, then we're out of here. So make the best of the time that you have. If you're blessed to meet someone amazing, don't do anything crazy to ruin it. Don't be afraid. Welcome it. No matter where you are in your life. Single, divorced, married, doesn't matter. Love who you're blessed to have, because it's truly a gift. It's truly a gift. And I do look at dating, completely different now. I am very selective of who I connect with, who I even engage with as far as a phone conversation. I'm not going to invest my time with someone I know I don't have sincere feelings for, or someone I can actually imagine myself with, someone I can imagine growing old with, someone I can imagine acting completely silly, letting my hair down, being my authentic self all the time. And he can do the same. No facades, no games, just realness. Basically, realness. Veronica Morris, you're saying, absolutely, it's not easy. I'm happy to say I'm coming up on our 17 years anniversary, and that is definitely a blessing. That is a blessing. So, to make it to double digits, and I know, there are times when there are challenges, there are times when you want to wring necks, and there are times you want to leave and not look back. There are times when you're ridiculously happy. There are times when you have those family vacations and you look at the pictures and everything. You got to have a balance in your relationships. every day is not going to be rainbows and hummingbirds. You're seeing sparrows, of course, I'm going to say that. But it's not going to be that every day. There's going to be rain. It's going to be some crashing waves. It's going to be situations that occur. Another thing I've learned personally is that I can love the heck out of you. I can love you until there's no tomorrow. However, more so than love, I know I better like you. I better like you a lot. A lot. A lot. Because what's love got to do with it? And I have my blog that continues from gratitude time from last year. I'm still blogging. And that's what it's about this year. What's love got to do with it? Love has everything to do with your lives. Without it, health can suffer. You're lonely. Afraid to try new things because you feel like you need a partner with everything. No. The mind. Remember, the mind and the heart married. When you can marry those two and be on one accord as to what it is you're looking for, what you've been praying about, and the specific things that makes your soul dance. So when your soul is dancing and you know you love this person or you care a lot for this person or who you dream of, put it that way. Go out, do something different. Do something different. Today I decided that I'm going to take a painting class. I love canvases. I love beautiful things. Of course, I have an interior design background and everything I do deals with the mind and the heart. Is always going to be that. So I decided to do something that I have not done before, however, something that I know I love. It's been on my list of things to do. I'm taking a painting class. So why not take a class of something of interest that's going to take you out of your comfort zone? It's going to place you in a location that you normally would not be in. You never know who you may meet there. So comfort zone has a lot to do with it. You also may have heard about me talking about Trinity 365. It's a class that I have. It's 12 weeks long. All of these things I hit. I hit all these things. Relationships, health, career paths. Making sure you're in alignment with that of happiness. Relationships, spirituality. All of those things, those bases I cover in 12 weeks time. This is how I introduce you to yourself. I'm going to ask you the questions you may not ask yourself. Just to ponder thought, to incur change. And it's always going to be from inspiration to transformation. If you're not changing every day, you're stuck and still. So do not be stuck and still, sparrows. Let's not. James Caldwell, what are you saying, dear? I know some women who's looking for a man that have money. You do have some players out there. If the love ain't in it, hold on. If the love's not in your heart, you don't love yourself. Correct. For no one, I'm 52 years old and I want to be loved in a relationship for having some hard times and how to make it. But by the grace of God, He won't put no more on us than we can bear. You're 100% correct. It's not about the cars. That's what I was saying. It's not about the cars. It's not about the big houses. Those are material things. Those material things fall on the preference side of the scale. Things that matter is the standards. The things that cannot be bought or paid for. Those are the things. The spiritual side of things. Okay? That's what matters in the end. A lot of years go by. A lot of years go by when our minds are directing our wind. When our mind is like, this is what I want, and that's all. This is it. But then you get it, and then what? You can have every material thing under the sun, but if you don't have sincere love in your life, it's very sad. It's depressing. Too many people that I know has it all. They think. They thought. They're living the facts that you don't have it all when you have material possessions. I look at it like this. Things that I can accept in my spirit, in my soul, in my heart, my every essence of my being, if I'm going to put full focus on that, it's something that can resonate and stay in my heart, in my spirit. So when I do leave here, those things go with. If it's something that cannot go with me when I expire, those aren't things of priority for me anymore. When I say, when you learn to give up things that really doesn't resonate or matter in your life, it's just that. Things, it's beautiful, you can look at it, you can touch it, feel it, you can floss in it, whatever the case is. But you need to question yourself, what is that about? What is that about to where you have to have so many material things? What is so bruised or broken in your life? What has happened to you in your past to where you feel like this is a necessity? Exchange that as soon as you can. But you're not going to realize it until you have those come to Jesus conversations. When you decide to, go on an oasis trip to Isolation Island, to reassess yourself, to really through and through understand who you are today. Because the person you are today, you're not the same person as you were 10 years ago, not even last year. So what does love look like for you today? That's what's important. How is your life aligning with who you are becoming? Loving conscious. When you love conscious, you love with intention. You're loving with intention. So everything has been stripped from me. When I say everything, everything has been stripped from me. And I only want what God has for me. I'm building my life in accordance to what His will is for my life. That's what I accept at this point in my life. And moving forward, that's just how it's going to be. So taking the time to really assess everyone that I consider to invite into my life. That's how I look at it. How are you adding value to my life? How am I adding value to your life? How am I taking the time to go about getting to know you for who you are? Loving you for who you are and not for what you have. Not what you can give me or what you can take from me. This is an even playing field. It's an even playing field. That's what I'm talking about. So, anything that you guys want to throw out to kind of take it just a little bit differently? I want to make sure I don't speak over here. Just a little bit different. Because I can't be more excited to be who I am right now. To be in the space that I'm in right now. And knowing the direction that I'm going in. You might have noticed yesterday I put a post up that said in a relationship today. And then there was small print on the bottom that said, calm down. I was just testing or something to see how it would be when the time comes. It was a joke. It was my funny for the day. And I did that in lieu of this conversation today. Because you notice, I don't ever post my status. Because I don't feel like it's anybody's business who I'm seeing if I'm in a relationship or not. However, I can promise you, when the day comes, Boaz Solomon shows up, whoever he is, when he shows up, oh, I want the world to know it. Trust and believe, because he's been vetted. He's been prayed for. The whole nine. I'm in a different place now than ever before. And I'm grateful for every situation that took place in my life. Everything that's happening in my life right now, because I'm being sculpted. I am being pruned, prepared, the whole nine for the gift to come. That's what I'm talking about. Be excited about whatever happened, no matter how it happened. Forgive it, let it go. Because when you can forgive all things and let it go, then your identity has been awakened. You can flourish in it now. You can really, really be jovial and live the life that you are meant to live. And it's difficult. Let me tell you this. It's 3 words I'm taking out of my vocabulary this year. So anytime you hear me pause for a second, it's because I have to pick a new word. Can't is one of those words. Deserve is one of those words. And expect is one of those words. Those are my 3 words to take out of my vocabulary moving forward, right now and beyond. Hi, Sissy Pud. So that's why you're going to hear me catch myself. Because I know a lot of people say, well, you deserve this. We don't deserve anything. We really don't. And taking can't out of vocabulary, because we can do all things. And when we learn not to expect, only expect from God, because when we put that power into another human being, that's where disappointments come. I learned that a long time ago. So I decided to pick 3 words to take out of my vocabulary this year. And those are the 3 words. So I'm being mindful to not say them and choose other words in replace of. This is how you grow. You get different results when you make conscious changes. Things that's not helping you, things that's not inspiring you to flourish and be better. So put your focus where it needs to be and love everything as much as you can. I promise you, every day of my life, I'm living as close as I can to Galatians 5:22-23. If you can live by those 9 fruits, if you can live by them, that's the closest we'll ever get to Jesus. That's all I want to say. And another thing, when it comes to LOVE, the hot topic, the hot book, the hot conversation is the 5 love languages. I don't have a problem with it. Read that book back, for inside out, all of that. But what I can say is, I'm not looking for someone to understand, or I need to teach him my love languages. No, I personally, I can't speak for you, have learned to be all 5 love languages. If you can be all 5, now you're doing something. That's all I'm going to say about that. Be all 5 and more. Because when you can stop and you can be love, when you can be kind and caring, considerate, know the importance of communication, spending quality time, self-care for you, because when you can really love on yourself, everybody else benefits from it. Again, mind, heart, marry it. Marry them. Make sure they're in alignment. Mind's thinking one way, heart's just all emotional in another way. No, make sure they are synced. When you can sync it, now you have something. But it's adjustments that we have to make for ourselves and not looking for the adjustments to come from somebody else. We've been all, hurt. We've been bruised. We've been disappointed, deceived. All those words, we've all experienced those. If you haven't, in some space of your life, you will. So whenever you hear me say, My armor has been bruised. Oh yeah, ricochets, dents, cuts. I still got war wounds over here, maybe a little blood on the back. You know, the armor has been beat up. But I can still smile because I've learned how to let things go. I've learned how to pray about it, forgive others, forgive myself, because you have to forgive yourself sometimes. When making decisions to do things in life, you have to realize and accept the facts that in that space of life, that's the only decision you were capable of making. And it took a while for me to really get that. Decisions that I make now, I am more observant. I am more in alignment with myself. I'm older. I've had more experiences. So I can make decisions differently now. That's the gratitude. That's the reality of things that make me so excited. What I will say, step out of your comfort zone. Do something that's been on your mind to do, and make sure that you put yourself in places and spaces that you normally wouldn't frequent every day. There's going to be some classes and some excursions going on. I'm so excited about that. And it's going to be along those lines, taking you and introducing you to spaces that you wouldn't go to on a normal day, and hosting excursions for 3 and 4 hour tours. So look forward to hearing more about those. You may want to get on board with it, because the conversations that are going to be had, talking about the unmentionables, talking about things that you just don't share, things that you're afraid to talk about. However, it's a necessity. It's necessary to do. And it's not something that I heard. It's things that I recall that I wished were in place when I was married. I wished I had conversations with my mom or my sisters, my aunties, things before. And there are adults right now, both men and women, that deal with questions. No question's a dumb question. It's not a stupid question. It's a realistic question. If it's coming to your mind, your heart's feeling the wrath of that. Get it answered. So you can live the best life you can that you're fortunate to have. Because the more you treat yourself great, then you're capable of treating others fabulous. Right? You can't neglect yourself. There it is. Can't. It's not a good thing to neglect yourself. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. I am very passionate when it comes to love. I'll tell you in a heartbeat. I am love because I'm a reflection of God. And as long as I'm a reflection of Him, and I can walk every day as close as I can to Galatians 5:22-23, you're going to hear these relationship conversations, because love has everything to do with everything. Every step, every space of your life, love resides there. And again, it's the heart's identity of all things cherished. So what are you cherishing? What do you want most in your life? What does love look like for you today in comparison to 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago? Who are you now? Are you happy in marriage? If you question that, fix it. Assess it. Yeah. Stay tuned for rendezvous. I'm not going to tell you anything about that right now. But this is strictly for couples. Because that spark that may have dwindled, it's time to rekindle it. Life is to be lived and loved in harmony and in joy. You need each other to survive, to be. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Hi, Gwen Reed, Eddie Hare. Hi, Trish. What's going on, cuz? So, that's the juice that I'm serving you tonight. Okay? And it's so much more to come. There are going to be times I'm going to be here solo, and there are going to be other times that I'm going to have guests. Okay? So I have quite a few people, contacts, friends, associates that I have, you know, from Atlanta that I'm going to be connecting with on quite a few engagements. So you're going to be seeing other people sitting next to me more this year. Virtual, you know, this way, but actual live on locations, different cities and states. Okay? So that's how serious I am about this. I love what I do. I'm blessed to do what I do. So I'm doing it, and I'm going to do it fabulously. You better believe that. You better believe it. So since I've already served you on love tonight, on Loving Conscious, what have you done for love? What are you willing to do for love? And what does love look like in your life now, today? Your juice has been served. Sip on it. Gulp it. As long as you ingest it. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. You want some one-on-ones? Give me a call. We'll talk about that. We'll schedule something because I have something specific for you. Everything I do is customary. I don't have no two the same of anything when it comes to my classes or programs. It's sculpted just for you because no two people have the same situations happening in their lives at the same time. That's what I do. I absolutely love it. Been there, done it, heard about it, the whole nine. So it's no reason to live life loveless when it's something you can do about it. All right? So, that's all I have for you tonight. That's it, Sparrows. So, I'm going to say, if you haven't read this girl right here, I've written here, read it. Amazon, you can find it. Barnes and Nobles, you can find it. I think every online bookstore you can find it. Okay? And that's it. That's all I have. I've taught myself tired. I've taught myself tired. I love you that much. On that note, love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude and soar in all you do. Okay? I love you, mean it. Smooches.